単発でいいのかな。まあいいや。とりあえずカテゴリーの。音楽終わっちゃった。うん。OK。ヘアストーリーやりましょうか。推理ゲーですね。らしいんですけど。アーカイブにアクセスするための検索ワードを入力してください。殺人。もう始まってるってことでいいんですよね、これ。
You think it's murder? I mean, clearly it's murder. What can I do to help?
ってな感じで、なんかとあるこの女性の証言をいっぱいあるんですって。いっぱいある証言の映像を見て、で犯人にたどり着くっていう、そんなゲームらしいんですけど。
Yeah, that's me. But February, that was months ago. What's that got to do with Simon's murder?
サイモンの殺人。殺されたのはサイモンなんですか？これ時系列も大事だな。 これがいつだ。
I'd like to speak to a lawyer now. Please. You have no murder weapon. You have nothing.
凶器もなければ証拠もない。
And all these stories we've been telling each other. Just that.
作り話。
Stories.
え？とりあえずサイモンわーいっぱい出てきたよ。52個の52個も出てきたよ。
Simon Smith. He works at Ernst Brothers Glass. They do windows, all kinds of glass. Simon does the more special work. Mirror making, feature windows, artistic things, really beautiful things. It's the Rockington Arms, the Rock. It's run by a nice couple, Peter and Susan. There's some other regulars there that Simon likes to drink with, and the barmaid they're having sometimes, Helen. Peter said Simon had been in and had a few drinks. Yes, there's an abstract one. No one uses it for very much. There's a printer so you can write letters on it. Simon sometimes plays games, you know, climb the tower, save the princess, that kind of thing.
塔に登ってお姫様を救うようなゲーム。YouTube で広告でよく出てるあれ？
Simon isn't the type to run off or do anything crazy. Someone must have done something to him, or there must have been some kind of accident.
この時は行方不明で
So what do we do next?
遺体で見つかって殺人事件だということ？
Thanks. Please find Simon. I love him so much.
恋人？アクセスできるのは最初から5番目のクリップまでです。なるほど。ザロック。
So, it was Friday
金曜の
evening.
夜に口論して
We had
彼
an
が出て
argument. He left.
サイモン
On Saturday, he didn't come back. I waited all day. He was supposed to go help Eric out with something on the Saturday afternoon. They had a job. He didn't show. So Eric was ringing on the phone. I checked at the Rock, that's our local. They said they'd seen him on the Friday night, but not since. He still wasn't back this morning.
Eric?
Isn't like him at all. Still not back by dinner time. It's getting dark again.
エリック・クラプ
So
ト
I
ン
decided to come and see you.
ドゥルルルルルルドゥドゥライラライラレイラか
Oh God, I don't know. I mean, I guess the Rock. You've spoken to everyone there. Someone must have seen where he went. I don't know. So many things could have gone wrong.
はあエリックいっぱい出たね
He was wearing a shirt, a blue turtleneck shirt and jeans. He has a watch. It's a really nice one. That was a gift from his
腕時
boss,
計
Eric.
上司な
He
上
has
司
a coat, a long grey duffel coat, like Paddington Bear. He would have taken that with him. It's not in the house. Yes, there's a car that we share, a Cavalier, and a van he uses for work. It's owned by Eric, but we look after it. Both of them are there now, parked in the street. I'm not sure about the keys for the van. I can look for you when I get back. Yes, that would be in his wallet. It's a Visa, a silver one. He doesn't like to spend money he doesn't have, so he usually pays with cash, but Eric convinced him to get one.
うん
Eric was like an uncle to him. They were pretty close. They spend a lot of time with each other, especially when they have to go to conferences. Have you met his wife, Diane?
ダイアン新しいワードが出ましたね。いっぱいギター持ってる。
Diane is really nice. She helps out with the Glaziers, organises the Christmas party, that sort of thing. They have 2 kids, really sweet kids. She used to look out for me when I worked there. Yeah, that's Simon's watch. It was a gift from Eric. He got it this year. It was a wedding anniversary gift. Steel. It would have been Diane who chose it. She has really nice taste. That time. You must eliminate me. I was in Glasgow then.
グラスゴ
Not really. He would go to the pub. He had his drinking buddies there, but no one ever really came back to the house.
あ、これ94年の6月30日ってことこれ。
His boss and his wife would come over for dinner. That would be us returning the favour. Diane is a really good cook.
じゃあ私の5歳と
Into
誕
her trendy
生
ingredients.
92年。
And the last time Simon cooked something off MasterChef, he got the recipe off Ceefax, and I did my Lloyd Grossman bit, commenting from the sidelines. I had to find fennel from the supermarket. Have you ever eaten fennel?
フェンネルって何？なんか実績解除されたで。一曲奏でようとしてるで。
Simon and Eric arguing? No, I can't imagine they'd be arguing. And they get on so well. Unless it was something to do with work. Maybe Simon was being too much of a perfectionist. But I don't know. You should ask Diane.
なんとか号ってなんだっけ？これか。
Yeah, that's Simon's watch. It was a gift from Eric. He got it this year. It was a wedding anniversary gift. Steel. It would have been Diane who chose it. She has really nice taste. That time.
グラスゴ
You must eliminate me. I was in Glasgow then.
グラスゴ場所だよね。出たね。
So I got in the car and I drove. I just kept driving north. Just kept going, just wanted to get as far away as I could. When I finally stopped, I was all the way up in Glasgow. I was so tired. I just had to sleep.
眠たいか。
Yes.
れはすごい
Got
好
to
きだね。
Glasgow, I was exhausted, so I pulled over and slept in the car. I woke up because a rubbish truck went past. I got some petrol, bought a coffee and a pastry, tried calling someone from the payphone, and then headed back. No, I don't think so. Glasgow was deserted that early in the morning. When I arrived in Glasgow, I was exhausted. The streets were empty. I was driving badly. And I hit a
事
taxi.
故った。
Not a big crash, just paintwork. The guy was so pissed off because I didn't have a driving license on me. But when I told him I was pregnant, he made sure I got to the hospital so they could check me out. It was fine. The hospital must have details when I was looked at. There's a scratch on the car.
凶器は分かんないんだろうね。結局分かんない。時計。
It happened very quickly. We hardly had to talk to each other. We agreed almost silently. The baby was what mattered. We'd help each other. We cleaned up. We bagged up the broken mirror, her clothes. They're gone. We took him down to the cellar. We knew we had an alibi, and we wanted the body to be found later. We wanted to have suspicion on us, so we could then disprove it, rather than have it linger. Better to keep the body in the house than risk being seen with it. The watch, that was my touch, to make sure the alibi stuck.
この人が犯人なの？一瞬なんか顔映って怖っ。どうしたらいいのじゃどうしたらいいんですか？この人が犯人なんじゃないの？何かを隠してるってことか。彼女以外にも協力者がいるってことだよ。なんか言いようによっては。
I wasn't in the house all of Friday night. After the argument, after Simon left, I left too. I was upset and I wanted to get away. So I took the car. I left the next day, Saturday. I slept for a few hours in the car. When I woke up, I came straight back. Simon wasn't returning my calls and I wanted to try and make up. I got back to the house and Simon wasn't there and I... Is there a bin? Yeah, I pulled over and slept in the car. This was just by the side of the road. I was exhausted.
赤ん坊のために殺人した。なぜ？口論。
No. I think he spoke to Helen.
Helen?
She said he was upset about her argument, but I'm not sure what else he said. He likes Helen. He likes blondes.
ヘレン、
He's married.
西川きよし。
A stupid argument, nothing specific. No one knows how to push your buttons better than those you're close to.
そっちにたどり着いた。
No. I mean, yes, we have arguments, but he never runs off. He always comes back. We make up. It's always that way.
なんでこれ 10秒ぐらいのやつにあれ細かく刻んでんだよ。全部ひとまとめにしてくれよ。
Yes. He left after the argument. It was about 8 o'clock.
赤ん坊は出ないか。病院。
Ask the hospital.
Eh?
I don't see how it's hard. We've established I was in Glasgow when he was killed.
あんたがやったんでしょ。でも
You've spoken with the hospital.
アリバイを作るためにやったんだろ。
It's like I told you before. I drove. I took the car and drove. I don't have my own car, but I have a spare set of keys. I just drove north. I wanted to think for some space between me and them. Everything I told you before is true. I stopped at Glasgow. I was tired, exhausted. I pulled out and I hit a car. My car was okay, but I was worried about the baby, so I went to A&E to get the okay. Everything was fine. Slept in the car. When I woke, I tried to call Hannah from a payphone. She wasn't answering.
Hannah?
And then I decided to drive back. I had decided that she was more important to me than Simon.
サイモンより花が大事。花とはいっぱい出た。
My name is Hannah. H-A-N-N-A-H. It's a palindrome. It reads the same backwards as forwards. It doesn't work if you mirror it though. It's not quite symmetrical, but well, I mean, you get the idea. Sorry. Hannah Smith. I live at 31 Gladstone Street.
花スミス。 イブ
Yes, my name is Hannah Smith. Oh, shit. Sorry. Across the road, where my parents first lived there, was a midwife called Florence. When Hannah was born, I was born at the same time.
双子
The midwife was there to help. I'd been throttled by the cord, probably wrapped around my neck by Hannah. The midwife told my mother I was dead. But I wasn't. She wrote all this stuff in a diary. Amazing what people will admit to on paper. She recognized me from the window. She told me to come inside, and she hid me. They had made the attic into a place where Hannah could play. There was a dollhouse. She hid me up there. No one else ever went into the attic. It was her place.
はーイブ
Well, my friend Eve. I mean, she was a friend from when I was a kid. And she was always more popular with the boys, and I used to hate her for it. I mean, really hate her sometimes.
ほ
Yes. We'd fight. We fought on the beach once, and I held Eve's head underwater. There was no one else around. It was at the far end of the beach, and I held her head under, and I kept it under. And for a moment, I just wanted to kill her and watch her drown. But that was it. It was just a moment. We made up after. It was a love-hate relationship. A police station. Yeah. When I was young, we ran away on my birthday. Bob Dylan was playing in London, and we thought we could break into his tour bus and have him take us with him. The taxi driver we paid to drop us off, I mean, we'd saved money, pinched a bit here and there to pay for the fare. He was suspicious because we were so young, so he told the police. So they came and picked us up and took me back to Portsmouth. My mum picked me up from the station. But I blamed everything on my friend Eve. So my parents let me off. My mother called me Eve.
え母は私をイブと呼んだ。
Yeah, when I was at school. I worked part-time in the front shop. It was sort of an extended family thing. My dad used to work there, my mum worked there before I was born. I took care of paperwork, filing, typing out invoices, that kind of thing. It was a good job for a girl back then. I didn't work a till or anything though. I was quite shy, so I wouldn't have liked to have worked a till. It was after dinner. I'd spoken to Sam's parents on the phone. I looked up for an early night and I suddenly had this thought. I think it was something his mum had said. She'd been speaking about old stuff, sad stuff, about when we lived there, about the baby. There's some boxes in the cellar, nursery stuff we never needed, and I never had the heart to throw out. I suddenly remembered that when I looked down there the week before, those boxes, that pile was in the wrong place. I went cold all over. I went down there with a torch and went straight to the back, and that's when I saw the bin bags. Pulled them open, saw the body. I screamed, and that's when I called the police.
でもこの人がやったんでしょ
Okay. There's a girl, she's staring out of the window. She's sad. She's trapped. She's here. She's looking out the window because her mother won't let her out. I would have been a good mother. I was young, but I would have been a good mother. She was a girl, by the way, the baby. We were going to call her Sarah. Simon wanted to call her Ava after his nana, but I didn't want her to have a symmetrical name.
花のことがあるからゴミ箱に中入ってる。ミニゲームだ。 2人プレイ用。地下室。
Thing was wrong. The bags, I think they were from our kitchen. You can probably check that. We never go into the cellar. It's just a place we put things we don't need. Dad used to grow mushrooms there. The bags were taped up. I think it was parcel tape, but I think it was ours. Well, fine, considering. I got back into the house today, and that was weird, knowing your people have been there through my things. It's like I've been burgled. I mean, worse, obviously. I don't know. I haven't looked in the cellar yet. They sent a cleaner in. As good as new, he said. But they had to throw some stuff out. Couldn't get the blood out. And I'm still waiting to hear from the coroner so we can get a date set for the funeral. It's going to be a commission. So,
いや、この人が犯人らしいっすよ。犯人なのは分かってんすよ。ただ凶器とかはいろいろ証拠が見つからない状態らしいんですよね。地下室、死体、
凶器はその人の腹の中にあるよ。
The bruise. I have a really fast metabolism, so stuff like that just comes and goes.
凶器じゃなくて凶器。
凶器。
I don't know if there's much more that I can tell you that I haven't already told the other policemen. I found the body. His body. Doing a meal. And his throat.
喉。
It looked like his throat had been cut.
ああ、なんだ。
And I didn't see his glasses. There's these thick glasses. He doesn't always wear.
何それ、メガネがなんかキーワードとかあんの？
1984 was an awful year in the end.
メガネのグラスを割ってその破片を凶器にしました。
でも調理しながら見よっかな。
It was a hot summer, a heat wave. So when they discovered the bodies, it was just awful. Because of the circumstances, them dying together like that, they brought in a lot of police. A forensic entomologist. I had to look that up. It was because of the heat.
2人も亡くなった？
It's just awful.
サイモン以外も死んだの？
Really? Okay. Here's the rest. Oh, they laid a body on the doctor. Oh, wind and the rain. Till a fiddler with a fiddle came walking by. Oh, the dreadful wind and
よし、頭いいんだんか。
he made a fiddle bow of her long hair. Oh, the wind and the rain. Yes, he made a fiddle bow of her long blonde hair. Oh, the dreadful wind and rain. And he made fiddle pegs of her finger bows. Oh, the wind and the rain. Pegs from the finger bones of a dreadful wind and rain that made a fiddle out of her breastbone. Oh, the wind and rain, the sound could pierce her heart.
サイコパスな歌詞っすね。
Oh, the dreadful wind and rain. But the only tune that the fiddle could play was oh, the wind and the rain. Yes, the only tune
ゲームなのにすごいリアルだね。
リアルだね。実写みたい。
of the dreadful wind and rain.
誰が拍手したん
What
ね
can you sing may be used as evidence against you?
何やってんねん警察官は。二人
パチパチパチ。
え、死体殺されたの一人じゃないの？二人って言ったらこれか？
His body did not real. And his throat. It looked like his throat had been cut. And I didn't see his glasses. There's these
あれ
thick
これだっけ？違うか。
glasses. He doesn't always wear it.
メガネ。まあ後でメガネも調べるけど、これか。
1984 was an awful year in the end. We were living at Doug and Eleanor's. I lost the baby at the end of spring and my parents died in the summer. It was a hot summer, a heat wave.
10年前。
So when they discovered the bodies, it was just awful.
あ、違
Because
う
of the
事件。
circumstances, them dying together like that, they brought in a lot of police. The forensic entomologist.
その事件と何か関係あんのか。
It was because of the heat. It's just awful.
ダグとなんだっけ。まあ、まあ、とりあえずメガネ。まさかメガネが、ダグなんだっけダグって言ったっけ。ああ、いっぱい出た。
Yeah. I've been round to Doug and Eleanor's and they're very worried.
エレノ
I feel sorry for them.
とりあえず分かったことは急に歌い出すやべえやつってこと。
ア。サイコパスですよ、この人は。
I got a job to contribute, you know. Doug knew someone and I got a job as a dinner lady at the primary school. They said it didn't matter if I could cook or not, just don't poison the kids. So you see, it's always been complicated between me and Simon. It's never just been the two of us. There's always been pressure. I hoover, I dust every week, maybe less. I once asked Eleanor how often I should dust, and she said, if people ask, tell them you do it once a week, but every few weeks is okay. I think she was just trying to make me feel better. I mean, when I was there, she was hoovering every day. You know, ran an ordered house. You know how that generation is, putting on a brave front. She has secret stashes of cigarettes. Doug doesn't even know she smokes. When I was there, I saw her. She has these sort of porcelain vases, ornamental, next to the Reader's Digest books. Cigarettes inside. And she still has them. I mean, last time I was there, I looked in a vase.
翻訳なしでやろうぜ。
むずい。
I mean, all those years
むずいむずい。
of marriage. And she still has a secret
開
like
けない
that.
開けない。
Okay. I parked up in the street. It was busy, so I had to park down the end of the road. Walked up, knocked on the door, no answer. I took my keys out of my bag and unlocked the door. The main lock was unlocked. You can tell because the key doesn't turn when you try to turn it to the left. I walked in. Simon's coat wasn't on the peg. I couldn't see his
サイ
shoes
モン
in
っ
the
ていうの
shoe
はあ
rack.
れね、
I
殺
shouted
された
out.
人に。
I walked straight into the kitchen because he usually sits in there to
この
have
人
a
の
cup of
旦
tea
那
and
さん。
read his paper, but he wasn't there. I touched the kettle, it was cold. I looked quickly in the living room, nothing. So I walked upstairs to the bedroom and he wasn't there. I didn't search for him because it was pretty clear he wasn't there. I had a shower. The phone rang whilst I was in the shower. I didn't answer it. I think it was
エリ
Eric.
ックって
Then I was just exhausted.
上司か。
So I lay down in bed
サイモン
and。sleep, though I didn't mean to. I woke up a couple of hours later and I was surprised to see no one in the bed next to me. And then I remembered where I was and what had happened. That's when Eric called again. This time I spoke to him. Then I called Doug and Eleanor. And then I decided to come and see you. That enough?
エリックもどうなんだろうな。ちょっと気になるんだよな。サイモンと口論して、エレノはまだ見てないのが出た。
Yes. I speak with Eleanor at least once a day. Not that there's anything much to say. It's more just...
なんやそれなんやそれ
え、ゴキブリでも出たか？
コーヒーこぼしただけの映像でしたわ。もう一回見ます？
Yes. I speak with Eleanor at least once a day. Not that there's anything much to say. It's more just...
これはゴキブリで確定だわ。
ゴキブリ。電話結構出たね。まだ見てないのが。
A mobile phone? Yeah. Well, they have one for the glaziers, but it's only for work. I can't remember.
94年だから電話もまだ古いよな。メールがなかったんじゃない？
It's in the kitchen. I saw it plugged into its charging cradle.
まだ通話しかできないかっていうじゃ
Sure.
ないの。
Yes, of course, if that would help. Will you phone the house to let me know when you want to come round? Then I can make sure that I'm there. I mean, I don't know. Something must have happened to him on his way home. He could be hurt. I mean, why hasn't he phoned? I don't know.
エリックは上司だったよな。確か一回調べたよな、エリックは。凶器も何も出ないから、死体調べて検索した。
ちょっと料理するのめんどいから先に風呂入ってくるわってことで落ちるね。では、
了解です。はい、ありがとうございます。手詰まりだ。
It happened very quickly. We hardly had to talk to each other. We agreed almost silently. The baby was what mattered.
赤ちゃんである、そのために協力し合う。
We cleaned up. We bagged up the broken mirror, her clothes. They're gone. We took him down to the cellar. We knew we had an alibi, and we wanted the body to be found later.
やっぱり彼女以外にも犯人がいるんだ。
So we could then disprove it, rather than have it linger. Better to keep the body in the house than risk being seen with it. The watch, that was my touch, to make sure the alibi stuck.
やっぱり彼女以外にも犯人がいるから、それを探すために、なんだこれ。彼女以外の犯人、エリックか？鏡？なんで鏡を、割れた鏡を隠す必要がある？
It wasn't the present so much. It was one of those arguments that had been simmering for a while. The present was a mirror, a nice mirror. He'd engraved the glass, the kind of mirror a princess would have in a story. He made it specially for me.
その鏡のことか。
The mirror. I can't remember. I put it somewhere safe. Upstairs, I think. I haven't looked at it since.
嘘ついてる。協力。赤ちゃんは出たね。
We spent the wedding night in a hotel in Brighton. It would have been too much to do more. We were saving for the baby. It was wonderful to be in a hotel, away from home, just alone together. Since then, we've always tried to get away for our holiday. We couldn't afford our own place. Simon dropped out of school, went full-time at the Glaziers. That was Eric's generosity. We moved in with his mum and dad. They had a spare room for us and the baby, if it came. It was a nice change, time to myself, living there for those months.
学生の時うちに結婚しちゃったんだ。よいしょ、柿の種食うわ。
From when I woke up. Okay. I woke up. Simon was already up, and he made me birthday breakfast of eggs Benedict. We both had to go to work, so we saved presents till later. I got to work, had some birthday cake. Children sang me happy birthday. Then I came home. The The birthday meal was a takeaway, and Simon gave me his present, which I didn't mind.
それが鏡。
And after that, we talked about the baby. Turned into a big argument.
口論になった。
Simon left. I was furious. I wanted to get as far away as I could and get some space to think. So I left.
で、車で行ってグラスバー行ってああだこうだして車ぶつかったりとかしてたら、でもサイモン帰ってきたらサイモンいなくてってこと？なんだろう。2回。誕生日。
Yes, that's my birthday. Not one of the big ones, but I guess you can see that. It was my birthday, like you said. We were going to have a meal at home. We had our meal. He gave me his present. I guess I didn't like the present.
プレゼントもらって気に入らなかった。鏡？
No. Well, yes. He found out on my birthday. I told him I was pregnant.
あ。それで口論になったってこと？でも名前を決めたって。
No, no cat. My parents had a cat before they died called Domino. It was this little black thing with white dots. We never did anything about
Domino.
that, but
俺ならオ
maybe
セ
you
ロ。
could maybe squeeze through it. My name. That was the only question I failed. Your lie detector works.
え？どういうこと？嘘発見器。そういえばつけてた時あった。これ。
Yes.
でも先にこっち。
I'll take a lie detector test.
偽名だを使ってたってこ
I've never taken a lie detector test before. Does it really work?
と？偽名？ああ、出た。
Okay, you got me. I'll confess. We were there. It was a dirty weekend.
夏の週末。
Simon was going to expense it, pretend it was a business trip. I used a made-up name. We stayed at the hotel, had room service. Didn't leave the room. Had a great view of the river, and you could hear the church bells. Like you said, it was very romantic.
ホテルホテルか。ホテルでなんかあったのか。
And the hotel said he was there?
なんかあるっぽいな、この切り方。なんだろう。誕生日の日にサイモンに妊娠してることを明けた、名前を決め合った、口論になった、家を出て行ったってことだよな。プレゼント、誕生日のプレゼント気に入らなかった鏡のことだよな。その鏡がなんか関わってそう。遺体と一緒に隠したぐらいだもん。8年前。
I shouldn't even be drinking coffee with the baby. It's been hard trying to give it up.
まあコーヒーぐらいだったらいいんじゃないですか。
Her story is that she'd waited for him to come back. She put on my wig, some of my clothes, pretended to be me. They talked. She'd enjoyed being
彼女っ
me.
て誰のことだ？
He said he wanted to be with me. Then he took out a present. Another mirror.
もう一つの鏡。
Just like the one he'd given her earlier. That unique
鏡が2
present.
つあった。
She went crazy, smashed the mirror. They argued, screamed. He hit her. So she grabbed a piece of the mirror and just swung it round. She cut his throat clean open.
ほう。
She'd only meant to scare him off.
ガラス、鏡の破片だったんだ、凶器は。これちょっと保存。鏡の破片が凶器だったんだな。検索出んのはこれだけ。もう一人、まさかあいつ名前なんだったっけ？花？一緒に生まれたって言ってたもんな。
Yes, my name is Hannah Smith. Oh, shit. Sorry.
入れ替わってたんだ。 ハナ・スミスじゃないんだ、この人は。また別の名前があるんだな。ハナ・スミスが、本物のハナ・スミスの方が、この人になりきって、で、サイモンが鏡を渡して割って口論になって、その破片で首を切って殺したってことだよな。どんどん謎が解けていくぞ。ああ、しまったってそういうことか。これ名前決め合ったやつでしょ。
I would have been a good mother. I was young, but I would have been a good mother. She was a girl, by the way, the
女の
baby.
子が生まれるや
We were going to call her Sarah. Simon wanted to call her Ava after his nana, but I didn't want her to have a symmetrical name. つ。ちょっとごめん。 I would have
もう
been
一
a
回。
good mother. I was. We were going to call her Sarah.
サラ。あ、サラじゃなくて。これだけか。じゃあ特に関係ないか。じゃあこの人は何スミスだろう。鏡が凶器だったんだな。死体の発見。
Her story is that she'd waited for him to come back. She put on my wig. Someone.
双子だったのか。
Twins? Really? Are you really asking me that question? Are you out of your mind? Twins?
うん、顔一瞬映んの怖っ。
There were always princes and princesses. They were the special people, more important than the other characters in their stories. We knew we were like that. Twins. Magical. We were the princesses. We had a poster of Princess Diana from the newspaper up in our attic. Had a pride of place. And underneath we used to put all our special things. When her engagement was announced, we were obsessed with everything she did. And later, when her life went so bad, we felt for her. Her divorce last year just kind of drew a line under things.
離婚したんだ。アナ・スミスはこの人じゃない、別の人。そして双子だったんだね。その二人が犯人ってことか。出かけたのはあれは結局エリックとかは何だったんだよ。兄弟姉妹か。うん。
You want me to play something? I'm not the world's greatest guitar player. Okay? Probably this tune. How about a traditional band? Should be like this too. Sisters came walking by the sea. Oh,
その曲好きだな。さっき言ったやん。
The eldest one pushed the other one in. Oh, the dreadful wind and rain.
さっきのサイコパスの歌じゃねえか。
Oh, the wind and the rain, but he only cared for the youngest one. Oh, the dreadful wind and rain. Oh, the eldest envied her sister fair. Oh, the wind and the rain, with her pretty little face and her long blonde hair. Oh, the dreadful wind and rain.
ロンドンのか。
So she pushed her in and held her down. Oh, the wind and the rain.
ブがどうのこうのって言ってた。友達って言ってたけど。
And then it gets really weird, so I think that's a good place to stop.
イブと友達で、イブはなんか人気者というかモテるんですよ。でこの人はそれを憎んでた。憎むこともあった。ある時ビーチで喧嘩して口論になって海でイブを沈めた、溺れさせたというか押さえつけた顔を、で殺してやろうかと一瞬思ったわけじゃん。でこの歌詞だと同じ内容なんだけど、姉と妹、この人が姉でイブが妹だった。え？ハナ・スミスは妹で、イブ・スミスなんじゃないの？この人の名前が。入れ替わってたんじゃないの？イブは友達じゃなくてこの人の妹なんじゃないの？
When she went home, Sam had a birthday tea waiting. Afterwards, she told Simon about me, told him I was pregnant. She wanted me to move in with them, this sister he didn't know she had. She knew that instant. The look on his face. She knew.
すべてを悟った。浮気していたんじゃないの？
Differences? She's a better driver than me. She passed the test for us. I tried to take it and nearly crashed the car. Learned that you can't rely on confidence to get you through everything. She is the shy one. She was especially shy around boys. If Hannah liked a boy, I would have to pursue him. It was that way with Carl. I met him first. She had such a crush. I let him take my virginity after a night. It got difficult. When I was with Carl, we would have sex, but Hannah couldn't let him see she was a virgin. She had got excuses. That you can't rely on confidence to do everything. She is the shy one. She was especially shy around boys. If Hannah liked a boy, I would have to pursue him. It was that way with Carl. Hannah met him first. She had such a crush. I let him take my virginity after a night that his band had played at. It got difficult. When I was with Carl, we would have sex, but Hannah couldn't let him see she was a virgin. She had lots of excuses. After a while, we decided that I should take Hannah's virginity. It's not that different to a bruise, pulling a tooth, a graze. We used a hairbrush. After that, we took him in turns, though. I was always the one who seduced the boys. Until Simon.
Hair brush を使った。カール。いやー、いっぱい出た。ちょっと手洗ってくる。
Was he my first? No need to be so coy. No, he wasn't my first. That would have been Carl. He was a local boy in a band. He was a bit of a shit. But he was sexy. We were 15.
あ、この人が
No, I was 15. Carl was older. 17, I think.
まさかこ
I
の
was
人
really into him.
もう片方
Regardless
に
of how he actually behaved. Lots of drunken teenage sex. We did it in a church once. Stupid. So he got tired of us and we split up after about 6 months. It was sad, but
立ちって言
those
って
early
る
experiences, they help you realise who's really important to you, you know? Family. Family. So, Carl fucked off, and then there were other boys here and there, and then Simon.
えなんか違うくない
Hannah was so smitten with Simon. She started getting jealous, didn't want to share. Even the first date, we went to see Tom Cruise at the Old Odeon. We both went, kept changing places in the toilet. We only had one best dress, so we had to keep swapping clothes. Must have thought we had terrible bladder problems. The next date, it was my turn. At the end, I let him kiss me. But that was it. We didn't want another card in our hands, and the Ouija board had said to hold back. After that, it was Hannah's turn, and she slept with him. Broke the rules. Deliberately broke the rules. She wanted to be the first to sleep with him. I mean, that's when she got pregnant. From that one time.
「なるほど。妊娠している方が花になるわけじゃん。じゃあこの証言もやっぱり入れ替わってんだ。だから片方が妊娠しちゃってそれで口論になったんじゃない？サイモンは双子だったっていうの知らなかったわけでしょ？花についてはもうちょっと分かる。ただそれだとだから違うか。なんだろうね。じゃあ結局花と多分イブがあれだと思う。花とイブだと思うんだな。でこの人がイブだとしたら多分ここはこの映像は全部イブだと思うから、この人がイブだとしたらこのイブは花をかぶって容疑を認めたってこと？自分だけがあれだって。でも全部話して、全部話してるもんな。出た。
So I moved out. Got a small bed sit. Got my tattoo to mark the occasion. I was singing in a bar in the evenings. So I had some money, enough money to cover my rent. And I've been doing something similar ever since. I haven't put down any roots. I don't exist. He saw me singing one of my shows, pure chance. Not sure I remember what he was even doing there. Afterwards, I had a drink at the bar and he came over and we got talking. I knew who he was. Obviously I knew who he was, but he didn't know who I was. He was fascinated by the likeness. He guessed my name from my tattoo. Told me it was a palindrome, well, that would impress me. I enjoyed talking to him. It was amazing to be able to sit and interact and talk to him after all this time. He didn't tell me he was married. I'm not sure what he was thinking. He later told me it was like he was dreaming. A waking dream.
サイモン目線はその偶然嫁と似ている人と不倫関係になったってこととんでもやな。ギター
No, Simon didn't play guitar. He wasn't very musical. He liked to listen, but he was tone deaf. Yes. Yeah, it's my guitar. No, he was as shy as me. I asked a friend to ask him out for me. We had our first date at the Odeon in North End. We went to see Risky Business. I had on my one best dress. Simon paid. He bought me a whisper, and I was worried about getting chocolate on my teeth. Nothing else happened that night. We talked. Then I said goodbye. Then next week I was singing in the bar again and there he was. And again the next week, he offered to buy me a meal. I told him I had already eaten, and so we got chips and ate them on the beach instead. When we said goodbye, he asked me to kiss him. Romantic. I told her it was one of my boyfriends, someone I had met in the bar. I think she was happy. But I could tell she was thinking, why couldn't it happen to her and Simon? They were the ones with the real life. Why not them? She's crying, I guess. She's sad because she thought she saw her husband with another woman. But it's okay, because she finds out it wasn't her husband, it was his brother. And so it's fine. An affair. Simon wasn't having an affair. No, I have never been unfaithful. I've never cheated on Simon.
この人が花な。
Have I ever cheated on Simon? You asked that question yesterday.
あれ
Simon never cheated on me. He was devoted to me, and I was devoted to him. Nothing in life is easy. We were good to each other. Life isn't a fairy tale. You do what you can. それは出ないか。バーでたまたま知り合ってあれだったわ。これって終わりあるのこれって何をどうやったら終わりなんだろう。ディータベース1個のファイルが見つかってません。これをコンプリートしようと。映画。海、ビーチ。 When I was 8, Mother died. She slipped down the stairs. It was an accident. I had read a diary at that point, and I knew she wasn't my real mother. So I burned the diary that day, and I left. Walked out and across the street. When beautiful people died, we always felt like it was a sign. You remember Princess Grace? Grace Kelly? She died in a car crash the year before we met Simon. We used a Ouija board to speak to her, and that gave us the power to find him. That's what we thought then. That people who died tragically leave some kind of magic behind. We used to share dreams. We used to wake up and write them down in our diaries immediately and compare them.
夢ね。グレイス。グレイス・ケリー。夢出た。
Florence was a warm, kind person. But she was broken, I guess.
フローレンス。
When I found her diary, I also found a biscuit tin with other stuff in it. Older papers, letters, that kind of thing. Her story was in there. I never really spoke to her about it. I was far too young to really understand. I guess I just put it together later, once I was older. She had loved children, planned to have a large family, but her husband died in the war. And that was back when you married for life. She never felt like she could marry again. Isn't that strange? She was a widow from her 20s. But, I mean, I guess it was different then. You know, you married for life and she felt she could never marry again. I guess it was harder, a war widow. One of the dead. I don't know, maybe there was more to it than that. I don't really know. We were obsessed with fairy tales. Not just the pretty, pretty ones, but the traditional ones. They were dark and real, bizarre and violent. Felt like life. We had this huge old book that I think Mum must have bought from a library sale. The illustrations had thin tracing paper over them to protect them. They were in colour, shiny plates. At the front of the book was an index of illustrations. We read that more than the actual stories. We'd read aloud the captions and flick between the pictures. There was something intimate about peeling back the tracing paper, undressing the pictures. Rapunzel's hair is cut. The eagle plucks out his heart. The princess pricks her finger. Florence took me home with her. Mother hadn't been expecting twins and had a healthy baby. I guess she was just happy for Florence to clean up. Take away the evidence that this was anything but a happy occasion. Florence raised me in her home. I never left it. She kept me out of sight. It wasn't odd for people to see a midwife with a baby, carrying in supplies, washing nappies, that sort of thing. I never knew any different. I grew up looking out of my window and seeing her across the road. I thought it was like a reflection in the mirror. She was me.
Yeah.
No, it was just me and her. It was the name they were going to call their first child. They talked about it and were going to try when he came back. Florence's family had a history of firstborn girls, so they were convinced it was going to be a girl. It's hard to know if this is all true. These are stories I remember, that I read when I was a child. Maybe I misread, maybe I misunderstood. Sometimes it's hard to remember what happened last week.
やっぱりこの人がイブなんだ。イブなんだ、この人が。イブ・フローレンスなんだろ。スミスか、それとも。だいたい読めてきましたよ、これ。フローレンス家は子供に恵まれなくて、 双子のうちの片方が死んだと嘘を言って、その子供、その赤ん坊を自分の子にしちゃったんだ。それがイブなんだ。花は本当の両親のもとで育てられて、だからイブは本当に花のことを恨んでるんだ。恨んでんじゃねえの。嫉妬してんじゃねえの。容姿じゃなくて、違うか。難しいな。弟ってなんだろう。サイモンとかカールとか、どうしよっか。たどる道がなくなったぞ。まだあるはず。おとぎ話。出た。
Sorry. The picture, the way it's drawn, just reminded me of the books we used to read as children. I read those fairy tales over and over, and they were so real to me. Rapunzel was my favourite. My brain is just full of it. Are any of these in colour? And the Glaziers. I worked there some weekends and Simon had a part-time job there too. That was Eric's generosity. He was always good at helping out other people's children. Simon was quiet, more thoughtful than the other boys. Even then, he had a sense of craftsmanship. Wasn't always rushing stuff. Boys that age are just running around like headless chickens most of the time. You know? Plus he had that look. He looked like a fairy tale prince from one of my books. Well, she wasn't my real mother, but she raised me. Do you want to hear the story? It's a real-life fairy tale. Fairy tales. Stories about lost princesses, evil witches, magical mirrors, and lost children. So you see, even before I knew the truth, I'd found it in those stories.
え何どうすればいい？どんな感じだ？終わったのか？大体分かったよ。君の母さんがなぜあんなことをしたのか。え？そうか、そういうことなのか。ならよかったよ、サラ。は？サラ。
I would have been a good mother. I was young, but I would have been a good mother. She was a girl, by the way, the baby. We were going to call her Sarah. Simon wanted to call her Ava after his nana, but I didn't want her to have a sibling trouble.
母親だったんだ。なるほど。それで分かってきたらこうやって終われるんだ。そういうことなんだ。そういうゲームだったんだ。へえ、斬新。多分まだ見れてないものもあったんだろうけど、でもそっか。本当にこの人の自身の物語というか、あれを知るための物語で はあ、なんて言ったらいいんだろう、サスペンス系というか真相なんだな。そっか。双子でね。入れ替わりながら彼氏といたんだ。でも花がルールを破ってで子供ができて、じゃあ花の方は結局どうなったんだろう。なんか全部は分かってなさそう。まだなんかあるんだな。多分まだ分からないこととかも解明してないけど、例えばコンティニューしたらどうなの？で、ここで戻るんだ。あらら。へえ。なるほどな。いやー、これ気になるなあ。気になるっちゃ気になるけど、これはここで終わりだな、俺の配信では。結果として面白かったですね。斬新なサスペンス系っていうか、結果は分かってるけど、その過程というか、なぜ彼女が殺人したのかとか、そういったものがどんどんこう言ってみたら、始まりと終わり、結果は最初に明らかにして、その過程をこう楽しむというか、その過程がどう解かれていくのかというか、それがすごく面白かったですね。このゲーム作ってる会社はそういった話を、物語系のゲームを何個か出してるみたいなんですけど、まあ評判はそんなになんですって。サイレントヒルのね、なんかスタッフなんだったっけ。これはすごく面白かったですね。 飯にします。また配信するかどうかはわからん。さすがに今回4本目の配信だからね。ちょっと疲れてきた。いけるなって思ったらドラクエやろうかな。多分ドラクエやります。この後。多分ドラクエやるわ。というわけで終わります。お疲れ様でした。